Yes, guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Your Football Predictions, the series where we try and predict all of the upcoming weekend's Premier League games. And today, we are live. So thank you to everyone who is tuned in the live stream right now. If you are watching as a video, thank you for joining. I do or have ran this video series over the last 4 or 5 years now. This is the first time I've tried doing it as a live stream. There's just been so much going on at the moment, especially on the channel. Loads and loads of Newcastle content at the moment. It's a very exciting time to be a Newcastle fan. There you go, Thomas, straight away there, up the effing mags. Well said, my friend. So if you are joining me, thanks for jumping on. As I say, if you are watching as a video, be sure to get your predictions down below for all of the upcoming weekend's Premier League games. If you're in the live chat, we are going to go through each of the 10 games going on over the weekends. Hello, Ojo. Thank you for joining. Yes, the predictions are back, my friend. As I say, it is a live stream today. I'm going to try and keep it to a relative amount of time so that people who are watching as a video aren't watching forever. But we'll see how the season goes. If the live streams do well, maybe it's something we can do. I like to try and keep it as interactive as possible. I always ask you guys to get the comments down below on the videos. So I thought, you know what? Let's try it as a live stream today. We see how we get on. If you guys like it, maybe we can keep doing it and get my words out. If you don't, then we'll go back to the video format. But I do have on screen with me right now, or I will do in a second, all of this weekend's upcoming fixtures. Can you see me there? I'll put it like that for now. Thank you to everyone jumping on. Hello, Alex, channel member. Thanks for jumping on, Alex, and thanks for the membership. It's massively appreciated, my friend. Oh, Jamie's jumped in there straight away with a 3-1 win to Arsenal. I have got my notes down beside me, so if I keep looking over to one side, that is the reason why. Crabbers has missed the predictions as well. Thank you for jumping in, Crabbers. Okay, so I'll make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see. So we are starting off. Why is it? This is the wrong round. Where are we? It's a good start, isn't it? Okay, there we go. That was a good start, wasn't it? We're on the wrong week. Okay, so there you go. So the predictions start off this Friday. It is Crystal Palace taking on Arsenal. Get your predictions in the live chat of what you think the score will be for this game. We will make our way all the way through all of the games for this weekend. Hello, Tony. Thanks for the support, my friend. Thank you, Anne. And happy birthday, Ian. Good to have you on. So get your predictions in for this one here. I will say as well that I do have a link to this website down in the description. It's called Superbru. It's one that I used last year. I do have a little league set up. So if you guys would like to join the league, you can. But generally, comments down below is normally the best way. The reason I'm using this website is because it makes it nice and easy for me to basically put the predictions on the screen for you guys to see without having to hop around too much. So as I say, Crystal Palace taking on Arsenal. So Crystal Palace finished the season last year in 12th. I thought Patrick Vieira actually did a pretty solid job, to be honest. And over the transfer window, I think the big thing for them is that they kept Zaha. He has been linked away, as he is every year. But I think he only has about 12 months left on his contract as well. So it is an interesting one to see potentially what happens with him next. But I think Crystal Palace are potentially on for a bigger year. Easy. I think he's on for a bigger year as well. But if I'm honest, it's very hard to look past how well Arsenal have done in their pre-season. Was it they won 6-0 against Sevilla the other day? Alex is feeling the 2-1 Arsenal there. I think they beat Chelsea 3-0. They beat Everton 2-0. And the signing of Jesus as well is a big one. I'm going to be honest. I was slightly critical of the Jesus signing. But seeing how well he's done in the preseason so far, he's looked electric, to be honest. And it is a Friday night game. I cannot wait for the Premier League back to get back in action again. And let's not forget the opening game of last season when Arsenal actually lost on the Friday night against Brentford. Could Palace pull off a Brentford this Friday night? They are at home. They've got the home crowd. The players are going to be up for it. But I think I've got to back Arsenal, to be honest. I think I'll go for an Arsenal win, but I think I'm going to go for a Crystal Palace goal as well. So we're going to lock that in there at 2-1 Arsenal. So me and Alex are agreeing on that one, and that is the Friday night game. Moving on to the Saturday, we kick off the Saturday games with a 12:30 between Fulham and Liverpool. So Fulham are the promoted side, taking on Liverpool, who won the Charity Shield the other day, didn't they? They won 3-1 against Manchester City. A couple more coming in there. 2-2 for Stephen in the Palace. Arsenal late comeback he's feeling there. L. Stapleton agree. Arsenal have been rapid in pre-season. Can't see anything other than a 3-1 win. So yeah, I think we're agreement in that one for the Arsenal game. The Fulham game, obviously Fulham, big up to them coming up into the Premier League promoted side, and they have made a handful of signings for the Newcastle fans watching. Kevin Mbabu is returning to the Premier League, if you can remember him. Old Newcastle player, went out and played for, should do me research. Was it Young Boys? Where did he go? He went somewhere. But anyway, he's back to the Premier League. Only 5 million for him as well. So it'll be nice to see him back. If I'm not mistaken, have they got Leno in as well? I think they've got Leno, the goalkeeper, as well. And the big one, Palhinha. I know he's a ball-winning centre midfielder, if only I could pronounce his name, but they spent 22 million on that guy, so they are making a big push for it, and we've seen it with Nottingham Forest as well. Yeah, it was the young voice. Thanks for keeping us right, Liam. I appreciate it. So they are obviously making a big push. It's what you've got to do now. The amount of promoted teams who just go straight back down again is so likely. So teams are having to come up, spend a lot of money, and then more often than not, it doesn't work out. They go back down. But Liverpool have made a push for it. And obviously, as a Newcastle fan again, we're waiting to see what Mitro can do in the Premier League. Last time round, got them promoted. There you go. Stephen's feeling a 4-1 with a Mitro, 4 goals. And all right, Baldy, good to see you, my friend. It would be great to see Mitro come up and do well, to be honest, despite the fact that he left. I'm still always a big fan. But once again, Liverpool finished second last year. They've added to the squad. They've brought in Núñez. He scored in that Charity Shield game when they beat Manchester City 3-1. The comparisons are already coming in between Núñez and Haaland. Who's going to be better? If I had to put my money on, I would say Haaland. But and they're not the same player either. So it's not a fair comparison to have, but it's the comparison that everybody's going to have, isn't it? So I'm gonna back Liverpool, and I don't know what it is. Liverpool always seem to play a promoted side at the start of the season. That's just what happens. So let's have a quick look at what you guys have said here. Alex is going for the 4-0 Liverpool. Salah captained. Yeah, I am also planning. So if you're watching right now, I am in the plans to do a live stream tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the Fantasy Football League, because I have set one up again. I've just been so busy with videos at the moment. I haven't had a chance to do the predictions. I haven't had a chance to do the fantasy football. So the plan is tomorrow morning, we're going to get on, we're going to live stream again, and we are going to pick our fantasy football team, and you guys can get in the league and stuff as well. So I'll get that all set up. Jamie's gone 5-0 Liverpool. Any more Liverpool scores? 3-1 Liverpool, and Mitro have a lot to prove this season. And Núñez is going to score more. I think shock. All right, yeah. So I think that's fair. I'm actually not. I'm sorry, any Fulham fans who watch this. I'm actually not going to give them a go. I'm going to go 3-0. I do think that the oh look, Nathaniel's put 3-0 as well. So we're guessing the same. And I'm going to lock it in as well. My photo's still up for approval. There should be a picture of me there by this time next week. Liverpool just seem to play the promoted sides at the start of the season. I'm pretty sure for like a few years in a row they kept playing Norwich and kept winning 4 or 5-0. So I can see something similar. Now then, moving on to the 3 o'clock kickoffs. I've got to say 3 o'clock kickoffs are my favourite one. And it is Bournemouth, another promoted side, taking on Aston Villa. I swear sometimes the order of these is weird. Anyway, so Bournemouth, Villa to start. Bournemouth, again, promoted side. I'm trying to think, what have they done this window? They brought in, they brought in that Tavernier, didn't they, from Middlesbrough? I think that's a good signing. He's been linked to a number of Premier League teams for the last few seasons, and I think there's a good reason why. I think he's a good player. I'm not surprised he's made the move slightly. I don't know. I think Bournemouth are all right, but I think for many people, Bournemouth is probably the team that they would expect to get relegated. The predictions are all flowing in here, and I've got to say it is mainly Aston Villa backed 2-1 there, 4-0 Villa there from Callum, 2-1 from Stephen. Crabbers has gone for a 1-1. Liam's gone for a 2-0 Villa. Ojo's saying 2-2, giving Bournemouth a bit more there. For Villa, I think it's a big season for them. I think it's a big season for Steven Gerrard. We obviously saw how well he went and did at Rangers, finishing 14th with Villa last season. I would say was... I wouldn't say it was an underachievement, but I just think that they probably would have hoped to have done better than that. Obviously, losing Jack Grealish was never going to be very easy. As it happens, I was on Twitter just before I started the live stream. It was exactly 1 year ago today, the 4th of August, when Villa signed Leon Bailey, who didn't really hit the mark too well last season, and Danny Ings, who certainly did a lot more. Gerrard is hoping to try and break into a European spot this season. I know I'm a Newcastle fan, and I'm hoping that we might finish. I'm still saying 7th would be a great season. I would take Europa League conference just to get back into Europe in some shape or form, and I think top 6 might just be a little bit out there. But you've got teams like Aston Villa pushing now, are hoping to. West Ham are pushing. I think Wolves want to have a good season as well. I think Leicester not signing anyone has dropped them off a little bit. We are getting a couple of shouts for Bournemouth here. The one thing I will give Bournemouth is that I do often find a couple of draws coming in as well. 2-2, 1-1. One thing I quite often find with promoted teams is first game back, they are on it. Like it's their first game, and you saw it last season. You see it every season. The first 2-3 games, if they can get a couple of wins and they can go for a few months, and then slowly start to kind of wear off a little bit, and that's when they kind of slowly lose it. We saw Brentford last year smash it, with like top 4 for the first 2 months, and then made their way so far down the league. But luckily for them, they had enough in the tank to get out of it in the end. I'm gonna go 1. I'm gonna go 1-1. I don't know. There's quite a lot of difference in the comments. I'm gonna back Bournemouth to maybe try and sneak a draw. I think Aston Villa will finish higher than them this season. I think they are a better side than them. But first game of the season, anything can happen. I know we're gonna get onto the Newcastle game in a moment. I know we've got a lot of Newcastle fans in the chat right now. We are playing a promoted side as well. So as much as we are on paper potentially the better team, it still worries me. Now, Leeds versus Wolves. Leeds finishing 17th last season, just keeping themselves out of the relegation zone. There's no doubt they are going to want to try and better that this season. Have had a pretty crazy transfer window, if we're honest, selling arguably the 2 best players in Rafinha and Calvin Phillips. But in fairness to Leeds, they've gone out and they've spent that money. They've brought in a handful of new players. So, and it's always a funny one where you sell like a top asset and then bring in more players for that. You want to try and make sure you bring in the right players and you don't just buy anyone. But I actually feel like Jesse March has done a pretty good job of the players that he's brought in. It's a centre, it's 22 million on Luis Sinistera. I mean, he looks decent, There's a few predictions coming in now. Hiya, Max. How are you, mate? Thanks for joining. Crabbers is feeling the 1-0 Leeds. Lucas feeling the 1-0 Wolves. Stevens feeling the 1-0 Wolves. Alex is 2-0 Leeds. So it's very 50-50 here. Pork is 0-0. Geordie 3-1 Wolves. Cyber Leader 2-0 Wolves. 1-1. 2-2. In terms of Wolves, finished 10th last season. We're making a good push for Europa League. I was at one point, I swear Wolves was in the shout for even a top 4 spot. And then it kind of simmered down. And then it was like, well, they're still in for a top 6. Then it simmered down. And it was like, oh, maybe they could grab Europa League conference. The back end of Wolves' season, I think they wanted it to end, didn't they? They'd had enough. They'd just put it to an end. They did not seem to want Europe at the end of last season. Yeah, Max is saying it there, fell off towards the end. You're very right, my friend. And in terms of starting up this season, it's not looking good. Jimenez injured. Wolves are now linked to trying to bring in a striker on loan. Or anyone, I think, at this point to replace Jimenez for the start of the season. I've actually seen Benteke being linked as a loan move for Wolves, so we'll have to watch the space on that one to see who or if they are able to bring anyone in to start the season. I think one of the players to look out for Wolves this season is probably Neto. Obviously had his injury issues last season. I think the big one is how long Jimenez is out for, and can they bring someone in to try and cover while he's not available. Alex is thinking that Leeds will actually finish above Wolves this season. Joshua's feeling a 1-0 Leeds. Daniel's going 1-1. Jay is going 2-1 Wolves. So it's very 50-50 in the comments. I think there will be goals. And now that I've said that, it'll probably be 0-0. I'm gonna back a 2-1. I'm gonna back a 2-1 Leeds. Will Leeds finish above Wolves? I would potentially say not, but I will back them for this one because I just think the home crowd at Leeds are fantastic. And again, first game of the season, anything can happen. So I'm going to back the home team there. I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds there. Now then, for all of the Toon fans watching, here we go. We'll move on to the Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest game. And I will be honest, I'm not going to overdo it here because I actually have a full preview for this game coming out on the channel at probably around 4:30, 5 o'clock. So if you're watching, you're a Newcastle fan, subscribe, notifications on. Full preview will be out later on today, 4:30, 5 o'clock. It's already recorded. So if we sign someone before the end of the day, then the video will be outdated, but I don't think it's going to be that quick. So let me know the comments for this one. 2-1 to the Toon there from Stephen. 2 from Jody. I'm assuming that's 2-0 to Newcastle, but who knows? Ravens of the North 3-2 to Newcastle. Goals. People are feeling goals in this one. Joshua, the Liverpool fan, he's feeling 3-1 to Newcastle as well. Jody's 2-1 to the Toon. Thank you. Luke can't wait for Saturday. And I will be there. I'll be doing the vlog just as always. So be sure to look out for that on Saturday. Alex, 3-1 Newcastle. Reckon Lingard scores early and does his stupid celebration. And then we tear them down. 4-1 to the Mags. 3-1 from Jonathan. 1-1 from Crabbers. Forest will be up for it. And I do agree. People are saying at the moment that it's an easy game for Newcastle. It's a great game to get the season started. I think it's a decent game. Don't get me wrong, it's a promoted side. You can't really argue with that as a home game for the first game of the season. It's way better than playing Man City or Liverpool away. But they are going to be up for it. They have gone out and they have spent a hell of a lot of money. Obviously, they won the playoffs to promotion, one of the most lucrative events in football, I think, right now. Never mind England, I think football generally. Big payday for winning the playoffs. And they've gone out and spent the money. They obviously bought, Henderson's on loan, isn't he? They've got a whole host of people. But yes, the main one is Jesse Lingard. I think, is it like 12 players in total they've signed? It's similar to what I was saying about Fulham. You know, they've gone out, they've spent the money, they're trying to make that effort to stay in the Premier League. Will it be enough for Nottingham Forest? If you're in the live chat now, let me know if you think that Nottingham Forest can stay up this season. Has the spend worked? The Lingard is only 1 year deal as well. I don't know if that's them making sure that if they do go down, they're not now left with a player who's getting a lot of money for a championship season. Maybe Lingard was worried that if he did sign, he would potentially be in the championship next season. We don't know, but Lingard's a good player. He is a good player, and I know someone commented on his celebrations a moment ago. He's not for everyone, but his ability on the pitch is very good. It really is, and I think he's got something to prove as well. Certainly, just because of the fact that everyone's been talking about him. How's he going to do? Where's he going to go? What's going to happen next? I can see Lingard having a good season, actually. I think they will put everything through him. And then, obviously, I'm looking forward to seeing Brendan Johnson, the youngster, the winger. I think he got 19 goals for Forest last season. It's the step up. And he's a good player. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, a few comments coming in here now. 2-1 Newcastle. Will I be in the same seat as last season? Yes, I will, Jonathan. Up in the Leazers. I got to experience the padded seats in the Milburn stand for the friendly, but I'll be back in the usual. Mark's saying too many players at one time for Nottingham Forest. That is a point. Alex thinks that they will scrap it out and stay up. Crabbers is saying that they will stay up comfortably. 14th, 16th. Cyberlead is asking about Samaka-esque. I will come on to him in the West Ham game, mate. Don't you worry about that. Liam saying that Nottingham Forest will stay up. The other two promoted teams will go down. So they will be the one. Forest going down, but only just. So there is actually quite a lot of confidence in Nottingham Forest here. Will stay up, in my opinion, Bournemouth, Southampton, and Leeds to go down. They will stay up, Everton and Wolves to go down. So yeah, loads of there's loads of love for the Nottingham Forest here. So in terms of Newcastle, we finished 11th last season. First team ever to be on that many points down in the relegation zone and to stay up, which was some feat. And I will say it again. I will have the full Newcastle preview out against Nottingham Forest later today, so I don't want to go through Newcastle too much right now. But I think it's a big season for Newcastle as well. It's the first season. We're going to have Eddie Howe for the full season. We're going to have Bruno for the full season. We're going to have Joe Linton and Bruno playing together for a full season. Callum Wilson to stay fit for a full season, I hope. We've obviously got Botman in now. There's obviously some talk on whether we think Botman is actually going to start or whether it will be Shaw and Byrne for the first game of the season. I've already said what I think, and I talk about it in my video later, but it's definitely 50-50 among the fans. I would like to still see Newcastle bring in a new signing before. I honestly think Eddie Howe and Dan Ashworth were looking to bring in a new player before this game. The Madison rumours were flying. The Cornet rumours were flying. It was clear they wanted to try and bring in someone this window. Yeah, if you want to let me know where you think Newcastle could finish this season, then please let me know in the comments as well what a job Eddie did. And we will finish. If we finish top 8, I'll be happy. Yeah, as I've said, I think for me, if I don't want to say if you offered me it now, I would take it, but, and I know people want to try and see a top 6 push, but Europa Conference it would be it would be a massive step. It would be back into Europe within, a season and a half of being taken over. That's a big move, hopefully we'll finish top 10. Even top 10 is an improvement from 11th. But if we could just, I think because of how well we did in the second half of last season, people want to see that for a full season. I think we'll struggle to do it for a full season. I think it'll be tough. It's a good league. Everyone else is buying. You look at Nottingham Forest have spent over 85 million. So I have got my prediction for this one. And you might call me biased, and that would be fine. But I am going to back Newcastle, and I am actually going to go 2-0 for that one. I think it could be a tough game. I think my prediction is we'll get a goal first half, and then when Nottingham Forest are going for it later on, maybe we can seal the deal with a second. Joshua's if we get Liam, if we get Conference League, I think we could win it. Well, it would be great to just be back there again. Joshua's saying predicts top 10 or finish 10th. Sorry. Hopefully you guys can get Europe. Top 10 and consistent good play would be good for me. And you know what, Andrew, as well, you make a good point, because something that I haven't even touched on, obviously this is Premier League predictions. Cup run, well, top 10 in a cup run for a change. When was the last time we actually competed in a cup at all? It was so long ago. I prefer 8th over 7th at the moment, as we do not have the depth for Europe. That's, you know what, Alex, that isn't a bad point as well. It's okay to spend 85 million like for us. It's all about chemistry and togetherness. We have that in abundance. Yeah, you're right. And Eddie Howe knows what he's doing. He's being as careful as he can. Liam wants the cup run. Jamie thinks that Fulham will be finished 20th in Premier League. Bournemouth 19th. Southampton 18th. Brentford finished 9th. Top 10 for Brentford. Yeah, cup run needed. And we all agree. Okay, that is the Newcastle bit done. Let's move down. It is Spurs versus Southampton. Get your predictions in for this one. Spurs, I think they're going to have a good season as well. As I say, as much as I'm a Newcastle fan, I back the league. It's a great league. There's so much going on. And I know there's obviously money being spent, but players like Haaland going to Man City, it's not my team, but it's exciting. I like to see it. I like to see Núñez at Liverpool. I like to see Perisic going to Spurs on a free. That's not a bad bit of business. And obviously they've brought in Bissouma as well. I think he is Bissouma, is almost the difference between finishing, top 6 and top 4, or finishing 4th and 3rd. He is that good of a player. And he was linked to so many teams as well. Spurs have definitely done a good job to get him over the line. Richarlison, 60 million. Maybe it's just me, but I'm scratching my head a little bit on that one. I think that is a lot of money for him. And is he gonna play? It's gonna be Harry Kane. Richarlison's the person to not play behind him. And I suppose when they're in other competitions and they need to have a bit of depth, but 60 million for a backup. But I suppose if you want your backup to be good, you need to spend the money. And Manesh, I've just spotted out the corner of my eye. Good to see you, Manesh. Thanks for jumping in. I know you're a regular on the prediction videos, so I appreciate you jumping on. Am I doing FPL? I am doing FPL. I've just been really, really unorganized. I will be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. to do a fantasy football stream where we'll go through, pick my team, and get the league going as well. So a few predictions coming in for this one. Everyone is back in Spurs, as you might imagine. 3-1 from Stephen, 4-1 from Baldy, 3-2 from Bandar. Geordie's feeling the 3-0 to Spurs. Alex with a 5-0. Cyber Leader 3-1. Ojo 3-1. Luke 4-0. Andrew 2-0. So lots of predictions for Spurs. And I can't disagree. I think Spurs are going to have a good season. And I think Southampton, it's hard to say. They finished 15th last season. Southampton were another team who were pretty much begging for the season to end because I don't know what the hell happened with Ralph Hazelhütten, but he was not enjoying his time at the end of that season. Nothing was going right. He was moaning. They have kept a hold of Ward-Prowse. I don't think Ward-Prowse will ever leave, to be honest. There was links between him and Newcastle. I think, first of all, he's going to cost a bomb, and second of all, he's been there his whole career. I think he might just be there forever. What they have done this transfer window is, well, I've brought in 5 or so players. Is it Seko Mara? He's like a pressing, attacking forward from Bordeaux. I think they played about 10 million for him. I think one thing that Southampton didn't have a lot of last season was too many goals, to be honest. I know Adam Armstrong, ex-Newcastle player as well, who went to Blackburn, then went to Southampton, didn't really score as many as maybe they needed. The biggest signing was actually Gavin Banzu, the goalkeeper from Manchester City. 15 million they've gone and spent on him. So I think that's the biggest transfer they've made. But yeah, as I say, Seko Mara, I think, and then Alex is coming in there. We're just about to say it. Obviously, it was Broja, wasn't it? And he did a good job. And they're going to struggle even further without him, I think. Joshua saying the same. Armstrong was Coventry City. Was he there on loan and then I swear he went to Blackburn. But anyway, in terms of a prediction on this one, I won't waste too much time. I think it will be a Spurs win. I think they'll probably keep a clean sheet as well. 3-0. So hard to say for first game of the season because Southampton will be buzzing for it. And I can potentially say there is nothing to say that they won't score. I think that Spurs will win, though. Dylan and Geordie both backing me there with 3-0 wins. Okay. The 5:30 on Saturday is Everton taking on Spurs. So there's a lot of games here where I would say, the favourite's Chelsea, isn't it, really? I don't think too many of us wouldn't pick Chelsea here. Let's start with Everton first. 16th last season, and they're gonna have a very tough season for me. People have literally been in the chat earlier saying that they are actually backing Everton to get relegated this season. I don't know if it's that bad. I don't think they'll get relegated. But I've mentioned it already. Richarlison has gone 60 million to Spurs. So they're relying on Calvert-Lewin. And what happens? He's injured. Calvert-Lewin has got injured pre-season. I think it's 3 weeks he's expected to be out. I don't know the Everton squad well enough to even say who they put up front instead. Jamie, they haven't replaced Richarlison, and now Calvert-Lewin's injured. They are gonna they're gonna have a nightmare to start this season unless they can go out and try and bring somebody in before the start of it. But there's not much time left, and it's money as well, isn't it? They don't have a lot of it. They've taken that 60 million. They're trying to build a new stadium right now. Hello, Paul. Thank you for joining us, mate. Mark thinks that Everton will go down. Rondon, yeah. Thank you, Luca. He's completely escaped my mind there, to be honest. Where are we? Colin's gone 2-1 Chelsea. So has MRF TV has gone 2-1 Chelsea as well. Stephen's feeling a 2-0 Chelsea. Jordy's going 17-4 Everton. Joshua's gone 2-2, not convinced by either team pre-season wise. I'll get on to Chelsea in a second. Bandar's gone for the 4-1. Luke's gone for the 1-0. Alex is thinking it's going to be an annihilation 4-1. So for Chelsea, who finished third last season, obviously they've been out in the window, splashing a little bit of cash, brought in Sterling, which I think is the big sign in there. Similar to Jesus going to Arsenal, I was a little bit unsure on the Sterling one as well, but I think he will. I think he'll do well there. You talk about big fish and I think a lot of the ball will go through Sterling. I think in Man City, obviously Pep has his way where he doesn't really have individuals. It's more like we have our robot team and we can put anywhere in any position and it'll always work. And it works very well for them, especially when they're in so many different competitions. He wants to be able to constantly just interchange players easily. I think at Chelsea, Sterling will have the ability to shine that little bit more, and I think he'll have a lot more go through him. And you talk about Chelsea's striker options. We're talking about Everton having striker issues. I'm not even sure what Chelsea's striker options are at the minute either. It looks like Werner, who was heavily linked with a move to Newcastle, is going to go to Red Bull Leipzig. Obviously, that was where he was playing his football before Chelsea. I think he's probably feeling a little bit homesick after not having the greatest couple of years at Chelsea and wants to try and get back to his roots. Obviously, Lukaku has gone off on his 2-year loan spell or whatever it is. So I assume Havertz up front, maybe Sterling in behind. Maybe they could even try Sterling as a 9, but I'm not even 100% sure what Chelsea will do there. But regardless, I think Chelsea are the better side. And I will back them to win this one. In fairness, is Rondon injured? Oh, I don't know, Joshua. Possibly. Long story short is we've got 2 teams here and nobody has any strikers. Chelsea will play Hazard and Sterling up there. Yeah, I do agree, Liam. I think that'll be the same. Coffee's saying Everton have Gordon, who was quite alive by the end of last season, and Pickford, who could pick up his game. You know what it is? I think Gordon looked all right for a guy coming through for the local team, an Everton youngster coming through and absolutely kicking everyone all over. You don't like him when you're on the other team, but when it's your player, it's something you like to see. Brink's saying Rondon suspended. So basically, we've got 2 teams with no one up front. I think Sterling goal. I'm gonna. I'll give Everton 1. They're at home. I think it could be tighter than maybe Chelsea fans will like, but I think that Chelsea will win. So I'm gonna go 2-1. And yeah, that's a good point from extraordinaire. Mark Cucurella is going there. He'll make a difference. I'll be very interested to see what happens with this one. If you've not seen it already on Twitter last night, Fabrizio Romano announced or publicized that an agreement had been made for around 50 million and that he was going. Brighton themselves tweeted, so that got like 130,000 likes on Twitter. Brighton themselves tweeted moments later saying, "We can categorically confirm that no deal has been agreed and he is not moving." And that got like 80,000 likes. So I have no idea what's going to happen with that one. I can see him moving. I think he will move before the season ends. I think that kind of money is very tough for Brighton to turn down. I know they're a Premier League side and they're making money that way, but that's a huge bit of dollar to turn down. So although they've denied that it's happened yet, I think it will happen. I think he will go. Okay, let's move on to Leicester versus Brentford. Leicester finished 8th last season. They were another strange one. I think they had loads of games that got like backdated and then had 4 games in hand. So at one point, it looked like they were going to finish bottom half of the table. But when they finally caught up on the games, they actually finished with a reasonable end to the season. They are one of very few teams in the whole of Europe who have not made any transfer signings this window. Nothing has come in for Leicester this window. It's understood that effectively they haven't got the money to spend right now. They've had links with players leaving. The big one is obviously Maddison on the list of Newcastle United. Harvey Barnes has been linked with leaving as well. Is it Fofana? Has been linked with the move as well. I think it was reportedly Chelsea had bid 60 million for Fofana, and they said no. Newcastle bid 50 million for James Maddison, and they said no. So although they haven't bought anyone, they can't because of the money, etc. They're sticking to their guns. They're not letting players go either. And I think that's showing some content or some hope to try and improve this season, to try and maybe get back into Europe. Obviously, Jamie Vardy, we say it every year. Jamie Vardy's another year older. Is he going to manage it? Well, he somehow does every single year round. I'm interested to see how, is it Daka? Yeah, I'm interested to see how Daka does this season. I think he got about 10 or 11 goals last season, played quite a lot of games. It'll be interesting to see how Vardy potentially does this season. He has that back issue, can't play every game. They need someone to come in and step up and do the job. And I think Daka could be the man to do it. Some of the predictions in here: 2-1 from Cyber Leader, 2-1 from Jody, 1-1 from Colin, 2-2 from Bandar. So a couple of draws in here: 1-1 Alex, 2-2. Joshua's feeling the 2-1 Leicester. Patrick's a bit late with a 2-1 Arsenal, but I appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Hello, Mickey. Good morning to you, mate. 2-2 from GG Fresh. And Casper has left. You are right. I got that wrong. He left for £1 million, didn't he? 3-year deal. So Leicester are now reportedly looking for a goalkeeper. Most recently linked with Dubravka from Newcastle as part of the Maddison deal. We'll have to see what happens there. I was quite shocked. 1 million for Kasper Schmeichel. I don't know if maybe he just felt like it was time to move on and try something a little bit different. 3-1 from Camo. So the team they're playing against is Brentford, who finished 9th last season. 13th last season. My mistake. Brentford started the season very, very well. So it was a bottom half finish for Brentford. But at one point, it looked like it could have been way more than that because they started off the season so well. Went through a very strange period through the middle of the season. Almost looked like they wanted to get relegated, to be honest, because very little happened throughout the majority of that. But the moment they started to get towards the bottom of the league, switched it on. It was almost like push a button, like, do we want to play it today or do we not? Because one day they were great, one day they weren't. I think Ivan Toney did all right. I think the jump to the Premier League is never easy for any team, but generally, I thought Ivan Toney did a pretty good job. And I think this is a big year for me, for Ivan Toney, because he's had that adjustment year in the Premier League and he's off the field slagging off his own club. It's not what you want to see, is it? But on the field, he can be a very good player. The question is, will Brentford have second season syndrome? Will they go on and improve and do better? Or are they going to do what many teams have done, which is like Sheffield United, like outplay themselves for a season? Wow, how good were they? Season again, everyone's worked them out and they go down. In fairness, when we did the predictions for the relegation earlier on in the stream, nobody actually said Brentford. So I think there must be some confidence here that Brentford are going to do okay this season. I am going to go... I don't know. I was going to say 1-1. I'm going to go for it. I'm not sure how I feel about Leicester this season. I'm going to go 1-1. It's locked in. A lot of people were backing Leicester there. There was quite a few draws as well. I'm gonna go for the draw. Right, second last game. Yeah, second last game. Manchester United taking on Brighton. Comments in and in the live stream for this one. Manchester United finished 6th last year. Want to watch? Well, the one everyone's watching is Ronaldo. Whether he's going to be here or not, nobody knows. It's a strange one because they're coming at this season. You want to get excited about how's a player like Jadon Sancho going to do this season? How's a player like Is Rashford going to get a chance under Ten Hag? How is Ten Hag going to set up differently? What can he bring from someone like Christian Eriksen coming through? Obviously, he's on a free. Do I expect him to start every game? No. Do I think that was the right move for Christian Eriksen? I'm unsure. Because I don't think he's going to play every game, but then obviously he hasn't been very well. Maybe he's looking at for himself as a chance to, play European football, not play every game. Maybe that's actually what suits him at this point in his career and his lifestyle as well. If he hasn't been very well, I thought that he did such a good job for Brentford. I think a move to a club. It's tough to say. I don't know. A team who are really like on the up. I feel like at the minute Manchester United are having a bit of a trouble, and he's kind of walking into an unhappy dressing room. Having said that, Ten Hag's in there. He's trying to turn things around. They've got in Martinez, the £50 million centre back, who is now officially the shortest centre back in the Premier League at 5 foot. I was going to say 5'9". He's not that short, is he? 5'10" or 11. But anyway, yeah, Cristiano, it looks like he's going to stay, doesn't it? Because I don't think anyone wants to probably to pay his wages. Some of the comments coming in here. We've got 2-1 Manchester United. If it was at the Amex, I would back Brighton. 4-1 there. 2-1. 2-1 from Baldy. 3-1 from Mickey. Bandor's feeling the 3-0 Brighton. Wow. 2-2 from Ojo. 1-0 from Crabbers. Bias aside, well said, Joshua. Liverpool fan there saying 3-1. Alex has gone 1-1. I think United will dominate, but just not be able to score again. Luke's gone 3-1. 1-1 from Jody, and Eriksen would have been good for Newcastle. I do agree, Coffee. So for Brighton, I think 9th last year. They were another team who started the season so well and then did okay. They were in a shout of potentially grabbing a Europa League conference spot as well. I think the signing they've made that I guess we should look out for is it Julio? Oh, God. Julio Cisco. Oh, God, I'm very sorry for any Brighton fans. Or the man himself, Julio, if you're watching, I've just completely butchered your name. But he's an 18-year-old lad from Paraguay. 10 million they paid for him. Enciso? That's it. That's got to be it. Julio Enciso. £10 million for the youngster. 18-year-old. He's from the Paraguayan League, I think, as well as being Paraguayan. So Brighton have gone out and spent a little bit of money. And we've already mentioned earlier that someone like Cucurella, who was a very good player, I had done your research. I did my research to know that the Bournemouth, I just didn't type in how do you pronounce this name. But yeah, they've gone out and they've done a little bit of work there. So I think Brighton will be okay. I think probably another mid-table finish. I think the chances of pushing too much higher than that are probably low. But it's not to say because they did well at the start of last season. And the manager as well. I think Potter is a very good manager, plays a very good style of football. And you talk about, what do you call it? You talk about Newcastle. I know I'm talking about my own team again. You talk about Newcastle and the players we brought in. One of the biggest things we did was bring in, I think, Eddie Howe, to be honest. And I think Graham Potter has really done a great job there. So I am going to go. I just think it's at Old Trafford as well. And if Ronaldo is there and he does play, he's going to score. You know, if any Manchester United fan was unsure of what they thought of him, well, there you go. He's come back and he's scored a goal already. So I am going to, and it's on TV, Sunday game, I'm going to go 3-1. Manchester United in that one. Hi, Ivan. Thanks for joining the stream. Damn, didn't know it was a live stream. I thought it was just a normal prediction video and was just going to watch it later. Yeah, watch it later on. I've gone way over. I planned to make this last 30 minutes. We're now 50 minutes in. So anyone who is watching this as a video, thank you for sticking through all the way because it has been a long one. What was the other comment there? So we are on to the West Ham game. I can see my man, Cyber Leader, is commenting about that. Are you going when we play you, as I can meet you, mate, being subbed since you've done. Yeah. Oh, thank you for subscribing, my friend. I'm not 100% sure if I will be at the away game. I'm trying to think when we even play you guys away, to be honest. I think it's in a few weeks' time, isn't it, actually? I'm unsure yet, mate. I will have to find out. But if you stick around on the channel, I'll be doing the predictions. I'll let you guys know. So West Ham versus Manchester City. Get your predictions in now for this game. We have got a few coming in pretty quick there. 3-1 to City. 2-1 City. Oh, Brandon actually can't see a Man U win. 3-1 to City from Stephen. 3-1 from Baldy. We'll start off with West Ham. Finished 7th last season, so they were the side to pick up that Europa League conference spot, which I'm pretty sure they'll be happy with. Obviously, they had a very good run in the Europa League itself last season. It always makes a difference when you've got a team like Manchester City who have literally got 2 starting 11s and can do whatever they want. I think for the side that West Ham have got, for a striker in Antonio who is injured for some of the season, to do so well in both the Premier League and in the Europa League was very commendable, to be honest. And as I say, Europa League conference this year, so they have gone out, they have strengthened. They've brought in the £30 million Scamacca, the Italian, on a 5-year deal. 23 years old, obviously a striker as well. He's a big lad, isn't he? I think he must be he's like 6'5" or something. So they've gone out and, for me, strengthened in the area that they needed. I think Antonio, when he's available, great player. But that's the trouble, isn't it? Is that he does have his injury trouble. So I think Scamacca is a great buy. Breaking the bank a little bit with 30 million bid. I think I said break the bank. I think it's not a bad price. For a 23-year-old who's clearly an up-and-coming player, knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. I think you'll be fine in the Premier League as well. The trouble is they're playing Manchester City, aren't they? And I can see the comments coming through now. 3-0 City, 3-1 Haaland double. It's September. We play West Ham away. Yeah, that's actually... Yes, so it is just next month. It's not that far away at all. Camel with the 3-0. Cyber Leader, he is a West Ham fan. He's feeling the 2-2. Antonio and Scamacca both to score. Haaland and Grealish for him there. 2-0 for Ollie. 2-1 for Ojo. 5-2 West Ham because we need a goal festival. Goals are always fun. Ivan dropping in late with the 3-0 Liverpool. Thank you for joining me. In terms of Man City, obviously came first last season. Hoping to repeat that this season. Did lose the Charity Shield against Liverpool. So Liverpool will be feeling a little bit good for themselves, having beat them. But I think Haaland is a great signing. Have let players go as well, letting Sterling go. I don't know. I understand that maybe it was Sterling who wanted to leave, and Pep was like, you know what, that's fine. They've obviously got a number of wingers. I think Phil Foden, who I wouldn't call a winger, but obviously plays wide. I think he will have a great season. I think he's only getting better every year. And maybe Sterling, 28 years old, Pep thought, you know what, if we let him go now, we'll get a good amount of money. Maybe I'm not going to use him as much this year because of how well Mahrez is playing, how well Bernardo Silva is being linked with Barcelona right now. I'll be surprised if they let him go. But we'll have to wait and see. Flashback as well. I'm sure Chelsea are being linked with Aubameyang right now as well. So we talked about strikers. Maybe Aubameyang is the one who could do it for them. Who knows? But yeah, Haaland's the big one. For the price they got him on is ridiculous. And you can't even say... He's obviously getting paid a lot of money. But he's obviously getting paid a lot of money, but because of his dad playing there, because of his being, it's like his homecoming. Even though he's Yeah. So how can you really stay angry about that, to be honest? Uh, Joshua's living cyber leader, but he can't see it happening. I think Liverpool fans will be backing us to beat City. I think you're right, mate. I think they definitely will. Sean saying 3-1 Man City, West Ham always up for the first game of the season. Last season showed that against us. First game of the season, we're doing this prediction. It's going to be all over the place. There's a lot of games here, in fairness, where there isn't too many top 6 teams playing each other, if any. I can't see any there. So there's a favorite in all of these games. I cannot see the favorite winning all these games. It won't happen. I will give West Ham the goal just in honor of cyber leader West Ham. Skamaka will get his debut goal for you, mate, but I expect Haaland to do the same. 4:30 on a Sunday. The world's watching. 2 or 3. 3. They're going to make a showing. They've lost the Charity Shield against Liverpool. They feel bruised. They're going to come out and they're going to show that they are going to win the league this season. So we'll lock that in there. And those are all of my predictions there for this weekend's upcoming Premier League games. Thanks to everyone who has joined the live stream today. Mark Noble lost in the dressing room. Very true. Stephen for West Ham. Thank you to everyone who's joined the live stream today. It is Thursday today. If nothing changes, I plan to be back next Thursday again, 10 a.m. to do the prediction video just the same. But keep your eyes peeled. As I've said, this was a live stream. Potentially might go back to video. But I will be doing it every week of the Premier League season. So that's the main thing. It will be on at some point every week for the Premier League season. Coffee said it there. Yeah, if you are watching right now, 140 people watching, please do hit a big old like, because that would really help. And if you are watching as a video and you're still watching 58 minutes later, go ahead and like and subscribe. I really appreciated that. Thank you, Paul. Good morning, NUFC 1892. Jabba jumping in right at the end. Another channel member. Good to see you, Jabba. Thank you for jumping in just at the end there. And cheers, Baldy. Yes, guys, those are my predictions there. As I say, if you are interested in joining this Superbru League, the link will be down in the description. Otherwise, just get your comments in get your predictions in the comments. I always try and pick a few out every week as shout outs for guys who had a good week of comments. So if that's you, please do. Oh, Alex, thank you very much, mate. £1.79, great stream. That's really kind. Channel member Alex, that's really great. Thank you very much, my friend. And again, thank you to everyone who's watching. So I'm going to jump off just before we hit the 1 hour mark on the stream. Again, I really appreciate the support on the channel generally. Right now, it's been really good. And if you're watching this morning, full Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest preview will be out around 4:30, 5 o'clock later today. So keep your eyes out for that. All right, guys, thanks for watching. As always, drop a like, subscribe if you're new. Predictions every single Premier League week. We will be going for the whole season. We did it all of last season. We're going to be doing it all season again this year as well. Let's actually lock them in there. And there we go. Round 1, 10 out of 10 picks made. There's my little Rubenstein League. Has anyone joined? Yeah, a couple of you guys have joined already. Oh, have I got to accept them? I'll take a look at that in a bit. So if you guys there, thank you for joining already. As I say, you don't have to join. The main reason for me doing this was just so that I could have an easy way of displaying all of the predictions. But if you do want to join, that's no problem as well. My pleasure. Cheers. Cheers, Alex, and cheers, Java. Okay, guys, I'm jumping off now before it hits an hour. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you